time to do the next round of seed starting at Kowalski Mountain, and there's a new seed starting method that's going viral, and I'm going to bring you along while I give it a try. Hey friends, it's Barbara Sue at Kowalski Mountain, and welcome back to the homestead. Now that's right, I'm going to be starting the next round of seed start, and I am going to try to make seed snails. Now I'm super excited about this method because, as you know, here at Kowalski Mountain we live in an RV and we don't have a greenhouse and space is super limited. So a seed snail allows me to use less soil, less space, and have more seeds, and I'm super excited to give it a try. Now, seed snails were introduced to the world by Farida Sober, and she is from the UK. Now, I've spent a lot of time digging through all of her videos and looking at all of her tips so that I can do this properly. Now, today I'm going to share some of those tips that I've learned, and I've also put all of them together in a blog post so you don't have to watch all the videos. You can go to a one-stop place to see all the tips together. Now, I'm going to take a quick look at my seed time planner to see what we need to be working on today. This is my seed time garden plan, and we are right around, we're on the 8th. So I just want to make sure everything is done that needed to be. I do need to do some seed starts of marigolds, and you can see marigolds right here. And I'm also going to start some more lettuce because our lettuce does not seem to be doing well. So I want to definitely do the lettuce. I need to do some basil, and I'm going to go ahead and start these for the 11th. So I've got cucumbers, melons, pumpkins, squash, which includes zucchini, yellow squash, and loofahs, watermelons, my winter squash, which is tromboncino, butternut, buttercup, and delicata. And I think that's going to be enough for today. Now I'm also going to do some flowers because I want some. I'm hoping to put some into the waterfall garden and maybe around the farm as well. So let's go ahead and pull these seeds. Let's see, I said lettuce. Which I'm going to direct sow some lettuce as well. Romaine. Looks like a romaine. Got some lettuce. And let me grab my tape. That way I can tape them back up. So I said melons. So I've got cantaloupe, strawberries, cantaloupe. We don't have any watermelon. I have to let him know that. Squash. Okay, zucchini, butternut. All these. Man, I'm going to need more garden soil. I can tell already. Pickling. Cucumbers, melons, pumpkins, squash, watermelon. Okay, I think I've got it all. Let's go start making some seed snails. First thing we need to do for our seed snails is we need a material to create the snail. Now, Farida recommends using polyfoam, which is the kind of foam, if you've ever bought a TV or something, it's wrapped up in that really thin foam. That's the polyfoam. Now you can buy it in rolls, and I looked on Amazon and I found some sources for you. When you're looking at the polyfoam, some of the rolls have perforations every 12 inches, which means that they might pull apart. So the roll that I found is a continuous roll with no perforations that you can cut to whatever length you want. Now I am going to use what we have on the homestead, and something that we have a lot of is feed sacks. So this feed sack is a canvas, and it will definitely hold up to the watering. It'll likely hold up for reuse, and it was free, which is even better. Now what I did was I cut this into a long flat layer, and now we need to cut this into the lengths we need for our seed snails. Man, I'm really gonna fight the wind today. Now Farida is from the UK, and so she recommended 10 centimeters wide, which is about 4 inches. All right, to make this simple, I am gonna cut my feed bag completely in half. And now I think if I roll this in thirds, that I will be able to get 6 seed snails out of a single grain sack. So let's cut this. And there we go. That's gonna work. I need to go check my bread because it's rising in the oven, so I'll be right back. So now I'm gonna mix up some soil. I'm gonna start with a 3-to-1 soil to water ratio to see what kind of consistency we can get. Mix that up. Oops, it doesn't need to be in there. I'm really happy with 3-to-1. So it's wet, but not overly so. And I think it'll hold together well. All right, so now we're ready to make our first seed snail. So now we're going to line our seed snail with our compost. And you can do about 1/2 inch to inch thick, whatever's your preference. And you do want to pack it down a little bit so it's going to hold together. Now, how close you go to the end is really up to you. You may find it's easier to roll if you leave a little bit of end. But you don't have to. You can make that smaller. Now on the end that will be the end, you definitely want to leave some there so that you can tape it together. Now Farida actually does this a lot messier than me. I'm being a little bit more intentional, like I'm packing it down as I go. She just kind of scoops it down a lot faster than me. All right, now we're going to roll the seed snail. And there's where we get the famous name seed snail. This is so cool. We want to tap that down just a little bit to make a nice, clean, flat surface to plant our seeds in. Now you can use your finger, or if you have like a pen or something, whatever you want. And here's our seed snail ready for planting. Now at this point, your seed starting is just like normal. You're gonna follow the directions for your planting on your package, just like you normally would. So I'm gonna start with some basil, and this needs to be done 1/4 inch in depth. Now basil seeds are tiny, so we're going to get quite a few seeds here in our seed snail. And honestly, without my glasses, I can't really see them once I drop them. Now Farida just recommends kind of sprinkling them, which I'm kind of doing because that's definitely easier. Now the coolest thing about seed snails is I'm starting a lot of seeds in this snail. A lot more than if I were to use traditional seeds, putting 1 seed per pot. And the footprint is amazing. So for those of you who live in small spaces like we do, this is super exciting. Now I'm just going to gently kind of tap my little seeds down in here. And you could also sprinkle it with just a little bit of seeds, additional seed starter to bury it to that depth. Those are such fine seeds. Now to keep the moisture in on the seeds until they germinate, Farida recommends covering with maybe a baggie. I'm going to use plastic wrap because that's what I have. this might be difficult in the... So this is going to create a little greenhouse effect. Just put a little piece of tape on that. Hold that down. Now we want to label our seed snails. So this is basil. And I'm going to go ahead and put the date on here. Today is eclipse day, so I think that's 4/8. So there, I remember what I've got. Now actually when I'm done mixing all these, I'm going to put all of these in here. When the seeds are small, you do want to top water, but as they get larger, you can bottom water, which is going to make this super simple. Y'all, I'm super excited about this. So we're going to put that in there, and we make another one. And that is all there is to it. This is super simple. Now, I did a lot of research before I did this project, looking at different people's ideas, and people are getting really creative. Now, you can definitely use the polyfoam, which you can purchase, makes it super easy, but people are getting really creative with their reuse of other materials. I saw one where she was using burlap. Some people use cardboard, which I like the idea of cardboard because we've got plenty of it, but I think it'll be hard to roll. And this particular woman who used cardboard, she wet it so that she could roll it more easily, which that is a pretty decent idea. You can just use a thick paper. Someone recommended using like lawn and leaf bags. Those are really thick, biodegradable. Really depends on whether or not you want to use any plastics in your garden. This is a plastic. The grain for my animals comes in it, so you know what? I'm just going to go with that. Now, because we're using seed time, I don't have to do all of my plant starts at once. You know, I love that thing. It tells me exactly when to plant, when to harvest, when to do all of it. If you didn't see my video about seed time, be sure to check it out right up here. So I'll be sure to give you an update about how my seed snails are doing. I will definitely post it on my social media channels. So if you don't follow me on Instagram already, follow me there. So you'll definitely see how my seed snails are doing. Now, if you want more information on how to do a seed snail, I went through all of Farida's videos. I got down all of her tips and I gathered them into one resource so you don't have to dig through all the videos. You have all the information in one single blog post. And I'll be sure to put the link in the description box. Now, the really cool thing, and there's a lot of cool things about seed snail, you can tell I'm pretty excited about it. There is no up potting. If your plants start to look a little bit yellow, or if you notice that the roots are looking a little naked, which means you're seeing a lot more root out of the dirt, all you do is unwrap your seed snail, add more soil like I'm doing right now. You just add it right to the plants, right on top of their roots, and you roll it back up. There's no up potting. I'm so excited about this, y'all. I cannot tell you how excited I am. Because up potting is one of those things I'm not very good at doing. Now, seed time is helping with keeping me on a schedule, but you know, we all get busy. Now, my mixture is a little bit wet, but I'm okay with that. And that's with the 3-to-1 ratio. You could add a little bit more dirt, but I'm still thinking that 3-to-1 is a really good ratio to give you as a starting point. You can always add more if you feel like it needs it. Come on. Come on. So again, we're just going to pack this down. So let's do some cucumbers. These are a little bit bigger of a seed. So I'm going to count. So that's 2. 3. 4. 5. 6. 7. 8. 9. 10. 11. 12. 13. Oh gosh, we've got a lot here. 14. This is a lot of cucumbers. 15, 16, 17, 18. Oh gosh, that's enough. I don't want that many cucumbers. 19 plants of cucumbers. That is a lot of cucumbers, people. That is a ton of cucumbers, friends. Now let's label this. These are pickling cucumbers. Now I think what I'm going to do with my squash and my zucchini, because I do not need 30 plants of squash and zucchini, I think I'm going to put them in a single seed snail, half squash, half zucchini, because that'll be a lot more manageable plants for us. Now if you need 30 zucchini, you know, go for it. But we all know about zucchini. It's one of those things that we're all excited to grow, and then we've got tons of it, we got to give it away. Y'all, I'm so excited about this. I cannot wait to see how they grow. Now with the larger seeds, because I know I planted them at a really good depth, I'm not going to worry about covering this with the plastic. I'll keep you updated if that is a good choice, but I know those are planted deep enough. Those little tiny seeds were kind of sprinkled on top and dusted with soil. Those are harder for me to tell how deep they were planted, but this I'm confident of. Now that's it. We just make seed snails. Here's a tip for success. If you want the center of your snail to have a large planting space, you want to pack your soil all the way to the end of your seed snail very tightly. Don't leave any overlap. If you want a smaller center, then leave a little bit of space on the end so that you can turn it in a little bit tighter. Now, depending on the size seeds I'm doing, determines on which one I'm going to do. If I'm doing large seeds, I like that big center. If I'm doing tiny seeds like the basil, I don't need a big center like that. Now, just as a reference for size, this is the difference between planting in solo cups and seed packs. Some of these are over-planted, but typically only a couple of plants per cup. Whereas here in the seed snail, every single one has at least 15 seeds in it. Look at the size difference of how much space savings that is for your seed starting. I am finally done planting my seed snails. Now, this was so simple, and I can't wait to see how it works, how they germinate, and how I like planting them. But I really like this little waste method that uses less soil, less space, and less waste. So less plastic, less pots, just a lot less materials, and hopefully a lot better yields. Now, every single one of these large snails has at least 15 seeds in them, some even more than that for the tiny seeds. Now, I did a couple of mini snails. Rather than put a bunch of different seeds in the snail, I just did a mini snail. These still hold about 8 to 9 seeds, which that's perfect, and it was half the length of my regular snail. This is probably a good idea because even though I've labeled each seed snail with what's in it and where, there's probably still going to be some confusion, so we'll see. Now, don't forget, I've done a blog post all about with all the details on how to create your own seed snails. I went through all of the videos, I took all the notes, and I put them all together so that it would be easy for you to find. So be sure to check out the link below on KowalskiMountain.com. Well, friends, thanks so much for watching. We really appreciate it, especially for those of you who watched to the very end. If you haven't hit that subscribe button yet, hit that button. We'd love you to be a part of the Kowalski Mountain family. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time.